Buongiorno. This is going to be either episode 68 or 69 of the HooperCast. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of a lot of things. I'm not sure of you, really, most of all. Anyway, I've talked about the Purge enough on this show, but Sam and I sat down so I could show him the film for the first time, and he had some thoughts that I've not gone over on the show before. So I thought I'd just give you this episode as me and Sam talking about the Purge a little bit more. So if you're not a fan of the movies at all, if you're sick of me listening to them, just go ahead and skip this episode. You won't offend me. You shouldn't care about offending me. I don't care about offending you. I don't like you. I hate you, actually. I hate you. So, anyway, enjoy the show. Testing. Hello.
Hello, how close do I need to get? Looks like I got to get pretty fucking close.
Okay, Sam, so you just saw The Purge for the first time.
I did.
But you had some issues.
I've got several issues. First of all, like we paused it a couple times and talked about, different things that were going on, but I think we both were kind of like, not sure why the kid was so affected by it. I get that he's a child and murder and everything else. Mm-hmm. But in theory, this child has grown up, the youngest child has grown up, with this happening basically his whole conscious life.
Yeah. This is the norm for him.
Right, whereas the parents have definitely seen what it was like pre- and post-Purge. And how I can understand that they would see that things are better post-Purge, but I feel like it would still be more of a struggle for parents to, like, for older generations to be used to the idea.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the kid would know better, like would know no other way, So that was, not a big problem, but
at the same time, I understand adults being more able to cope with a new norm, whereas kids just altruistically are like, but why this? But it's just like, look, it's just the law. But why is it the law? It's like, okay,
right.
Just forget about it.
And like I said, it kind of irked me, but not to a great extent. I can see it from both ways, so it's not like a huge plot hole or point for me, really. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was kind of odd. Secondly, and I'll give you credit, because as soon as it happened, I was like, they start showing the neighbors coming by and like, oh, they're having a purge party and everything, and I was like, I don't like these neighbors. And to your credit, you didn't give anything away. But I was like, I'm not so hot on these neighbors.
Yeah,
and turns out I was right.
They're far too jealous.
For such a wealthy neighborhood, they're really upset about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, not everyone had the year you had. It's like, yeah, well, bitch, you still live in this neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not like you had a bad year.
Yeah, but what'd you make? 1.1 million this year instead of 1.2?
Yeah, which another problem I have. If it's such a fucking nice neighborhood, how on earth did they get all these trucks and shit in? Like, they show you the gate at the front, but like for such a nice neighborhood, you would think that they could afford some serious fortifications, like, anything. Apparently, these group of masked marauders just came in really with no hindrance.
Yeah.
So I
don't know.
I kind of have a problem there. I wanted to hit the kid as soon as he let the guy in.
Oh, I told you I would have shot him. I would have just killed him.
But I understand, like we talked about, more altruistic sort of sense coming from the kid. I get it. But really, how do you know that guy was not like sent to open your defenses in the first place, to make it look like someone's in trouble, and then come in and kill.
He just runs in and kills the whole family. Yeah. Like I feel like there's a couple things I noticed the second time through. Like I never changed like points of view in terms of like who I sympathized with, but like I feel like the scene where they're arguing about why it's so bad that Ethan Hawke is going to tie the guy up and give him up to the Marauders. Like, but Dad, look, it's wrong. And I feel like the audience is supposed to be on like the wife and kids side at that point. Like, yeah, that's right, guys, this is wrong. But you and I disagree. We are totally on Ethan Hawke's side. It's just like, and for me, it's just like, look, if it's him or us, look, it's terrible luck, and I would have used it as a lesson. Like, son, this is what happens when you harbor runaways. This is what happens when you meddle in other people's purges. It endangers the family, and let this be a lesson to you. That like I would stand there with the head marauder and the guy tied up in the chair and be like, okay, now I'd just like to use this as a quick example before you guys, you guys
kill this guy,
before you guys cut off this guy's head.
Let me have a lesson here with my son.
Let me make sure to siphon
Teaching
any
moments.
wisdom out of this that I can with my son. Son, and you have like a little pointer, like this is an unfortunate case. And you point at him and you go, this man, you point at the Marauder, this is a legal purge practitioner, and this is his business, not ours, and this is what happens when you don't mind your P's and Q's and mind your own business. All right, continue. And then they just blow him away, and you make him watch. And you just go, yeah, this you remember this. Every time you see a guy screaming for help, don't help him.
It's not worth it. Which another whole sort of like they're in this really nice neighborhood, and the Marauders were obviously well-to-do, rich snobby kids, basically. So how did they chase a homeless guy all the way to this neighborhood? Like, that homeless guy has been, like...
several miles, probably.
Like, it's been a while.
Unless it's like Mobile, where there's a really nice neighborhood next to, like, a really awful one.
True. I mean, it's possible. It's just kind of the logistics.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a map.
Yeah, because if this is Los Angeles, it's like, he ran pretty far.
Yeah. What are some other things? The girl, okay?
Uh-huh. The daughter?
The daughter. Totally get that she's upset that her boyfriend just got shot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Totally understand. But boyfriend deserved to get shot. You pull a gun on somebody on the Purge night, you best expect to be in a firefight.
On Purge night or not.
Well, true. But
yeah,
I still don't understand why she didn't just go with the mother... Immediately, like, they found her, and then, like, she's trying to, like, the mom's trying to talk to the son and the daughter at the same time.
That's one of those uncanny valleys where, like, if you were to ask the writers that, they'd be like, well, grief. It's like, yeah, grief, but honestly, when your adrenaline's running, the grief doesn't...
But there's an intruder.
That's secondary. Like, what's first is your survival instinct.
Yeah.
So the first thing you're thinking is, oh, we gotta get out of here. It's later when you're waiting and you're in the room and everything settles down where you finally crack and you go, oh my god, he's dead.
Yeah, when it really hits you.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it overall?
Yes, I did. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. It was just frustrating. To watch because there's so many things that I would have done differently.
Something I noticed the second time was like they're waiting. This is the point where the Marauders have broken in, so everyone's like in separate rooms, like waiting, and so there's a lot of like up right at just like heavy breathing and shining flashlights from where you're hiding out into the hallway.
Yeah.
Poor
hiding.
Kind of a dead giveaway. Like, I'm in here. It's like putting a laser sight on your... It's like if a sniper had a laser sight. Mm-hmm. Like, he's in that clump of leaves.
Yeah,
I followed the laser sight.
Yeah.
That's where he is. It's just like... Look, if you really want to... Like, honestly, I know you want to be able to see from all corners. Like, when you hide, I get it. But honestly, the best hiding place is where you can't see them, they can't see you. You just have to find a hiding place and hope they don't find you.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree. Now, I like I said, I sort of called the neighbors being evil. I just got that sense from them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just, oh God, it irked me so much that, okay, like, they came in, they kill all the marauders. Oh, they look like good guys. But I never felt like that was the case. Like, maybe, like, other viewers probably would.
Yeah.
Like, just the way it's going. But I never, like, as soon as
they're
came
saved,
in, Yeah, as soon as I saw them come in, I was like, this is just going to get worse for
bad.
everybody. And then I just cannot fathom these people were going to murder you and your children in your own home after your husband has already been killed by marauders.
And you finally have the upper hand.
Black guy that you have saved, homeless guy that you have saved, that you were going to sacrifice and change your mind on, had to change a heart.
Yeah.
You know, good for you.
Doesn't abandon you.
But this is what... Like, you talked your husband into doing that, basically, instead of just giving up the guy, and you got your husband killed.
Yeah.
Okay, like, that's where we are.
Yes.
And now he comes in, shoots somebody, takes another one hostage, saves you.
Gives you the option. What do you want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do? I want to fucking kill them.
Yeah, I want to shoot them all.
Here are your options. Kill all your neighbors or move. Like, those are your options. Like, you can't stay in that neighborhood now. Like, what are they thinking? Like, I would rather get new neighbors. I would rather get new neighbors.
Yeah, I just kill them all and have a bunch of nice people move in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're totally grateful to live in this awesome neighborhood.
Apparently a bunch of... Like, I would act like just moved in, too. I'd be like, apparently a bunch of people got murdered here during the Purge. I have no idea, but...
Yeah, they got killed by other people. Definitely not because they're jealous of us. I mean, not that... You know, now, of course, the breadwinner's dead, so we got to figure something out.
Yeah, they're going to have to move anyway,
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly.
So maybe that was her idea, but...
That's what you do. You kill them, and then there's, 2 hours left in the Purge? Go into all their houses, take all their jewelry and valuables, and sell them, and then you don't have to work at all.
Sell your own house.
Yeah,
which
sell the house.
Admittedly is going to need some repairs, but...
I was telling you during the movie, man, work for, carpenters and carpet cleaners and locksmiths.
Yeah, any sort of contract work.
Yeah, business must be booming the day after the Purge, because all you're doing, you're fixing, you're cleaning up the streets, you're washing blood out of carpets, and I was telling you also during the movie that there's a subtle, it's relatively subtle. It could have been a lot more beat you over the head with it, but there's a subtle message of how over the radio and news and stuff as exposition, some think the Purge is not about cleansing and all that other stupid psychological Sigmund Freud shit, but more about killing all the homeless and the poor so that the economy can thrive. And it's just I don't like that they basically say, oh well, if the haves and the right wings and the Mitt Romneys had their way, if Purge came, they'd totally roll into the ghetto and shoot a bunch of homeless people. And it's first of all, A, that would totally work. And B, maybe they wouldn't. C, if they did, so what?
I mean, if it's the Purge, then
if it's the Purge, they can do whatever they want. And it's you know what? You know who I'd shoot if it was the Purge? You. You, fucking intellectual high horser. You. I'd come find you first.
Here's the other thing about that is, if that's the case, if you're, if the upper wealthy, class is killing all the poor people, are we just assuming the poor people don't have guns? Because they do. Everybody's got guns. It's not the well-to-do people have... I mean, they might have more guns, but that's not going to mean...
That's not going to mean that much.
Yeah, I feel like the Purge is more of an even playing ground. I don't know that it would work out quite like that. Sure, there's easy homeless, alcoholic targets, things like that.
I just feel it's really after watching both of these movies, The Purge and The Purge Anarchy, which you do need to you ought to see,
right?
And I'm thinking everyone, even with Marauders, there are steps you can take to protect yourself, and they're easier than you think. And the first one being like, oh, well, what if you're homeless? What if you can't? All you have to do is go to the nearest woods and, like, lay down in the leaves and don't move for 12 hours.
Yeah,
just hide. Perfect the art of, just piss on yourself. Just
jump in a dumpster.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you have to do.
Yeah, like, just bring, like, some I don't know, but, like, and in the second movie, they show different kinds of people. Like, some people have, like, dogs to hunt, so, okay. They'll have to run at that point. But,
right.
I mean, if I was homeless, the first thing, if it was Purge night, I'd go in the woods 2 days earlier, so no one even knew where I was. Yeah. No one could even follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, with some food, some dry goods, and I would have prepared better. I wouldn't have been on the streets for a year and then be like, oh God, I have an hour to hide. Yeah. You should have hidden like a week ago.
I would have hidden in someone's trunk for a month.
Hide in those dumpsters, they're everywhere.
I mean, yeah, I agree. And that's another thing with the whole, like, oh, we've killed out, like, all the unemployed poor people sort of thing. It's like...
And by the way, at the very beginning of the movie, they say unemployment's at 1%.
Yeah.
That's a net positive right there.
But here's another problem with that premise. If you just allow one day out of the year people to kill people, that's not how it's going to work. People don't just normally. Okay, and that's another problem that I had with, like, people don't just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to kill whoever.
You have a problem
you have like a grudge. You're
would
going to
this
kill
premise
someone.
actually work? Like,
yeah.
Would it actually work to channel violence into a 12-hour period? Like, would people adhere to that, or would it condition them? Because I was thinking about this too. Like, at the end when they're all circling around, they're saying like the chant, and it's like these people may not have normally murdered anyone, and yet when they're given an outlet to murder, it's like they allow themselves to justify it.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Does the Purge create murderers?
Right, and if, like, I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm sure, like, an overwhelming majority of murders are, you knew that person, there was some history there. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not that many just random killings. So, if that's the case, like, why, you let the Purge go, why do you think that people are just going to all of a sudden start wiping out, like, the low man on the totem pole? They're going to kill each other. They're going to kill who they know, who's pissed them off, like the boss that fired them, the girl that cheated on them, like, things like that. And
you know who doesn't win in the Purge?
Who's that?
Therapists.
Yeah, because
there are no more therapists.
Yeah, everybody's just like, no, I feel better about it now.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna go purge. It's like, oh, just want to talk about your feelings? Not really.
No,
I'm good. You're quite
I shot
expensive.
that guy in the face, and I feel great.
Yeah, I killed the mailman finally, and it's all good. He was sleeping with my wife too. I had to wait a whole year to kill her, but she's gone too.
And see, that's like you said, like, they're at the inn doing the circle prayer thing, which is all sorts of creepy anyway. Like, apparently, America is like this cult on Purge night.
Yeah,
but it's like it goes along, the same lines as, like, you're not living in that neighborhood anymore. Like, everybody just automatically becomes a sociopath ready to kill people on the Purge. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, everybody. No, like, they were all like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a little party and, like, lock down and all this other stuff. And I get locking down. That's basically what I would do. That's probably all I would do.
Yeah.
But they're just like, oh, well, we saw the opportunity, so we had to kill you. Like, really? Like, because if you saw the
metaphor,
yeah.
Like, if it's a little metaphor, like, we hate you, we're envious, and your house is so nice. First of all, we're all mature adults. Is that really going to eat away at you that much? Do you really look out the window and go, the Sandins are so rich and so nice, I love their house, it's a fraction better than ours?
Yeah.
And
they got an addition and we didn't.
I can't think of anything else other than I hate them. Like, just go have a drink and shut up. Like, this is just go be an alcoholic and keep to yourself. Like, so it's a little metaphor for the whole concept of the Purge, which is, so we were locking down, but then we saw an opportunity to kill someone we hate, so we took it. So it's like, all right, but otherwise you would never have dreamed of murdering the Sandins. Oh, God, no, we can't. So then the question becomes, like, philosophically, does the Purge, like, the Purge has short-term benefits for the economy,
right?
You know, in general, but what does it do to people? And that's kind of the point of the movie. Like, yeah, here's the only way you could justify this as a nationwide government-sanctioned event would be the net positive effect on the economy,
right?
You know, and quality of life for every citizen. Therefore, so does does the short term, does the horror of all of this, you know, is that outweighed by all the benefits of thinning the herd?
Well, and see, another thing, as you were talking, I was thinking about it, and you said, you know, therapists lose out on this, but like. You've got 12 hours once a year. There are some people brooding about it for 364 days, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so maybe therapists are doing all right. I don't know. Like, I think, like...
It takes an awful lot of self-control to not kill for a whole year, if you're, like, inclined to kill.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think... It said crime was all the way down, like, really low, too.
Crime was like, an all-time low.
So, I just don't...
It said crime was, like, virtually non-existent.
I think if you were driven to kill, you just couldn't hold out for a year. Depending on the situation, obviously. But...
It's kind of like saving your money. Like, you save your money all year so that once a year you can go to Disney World.
Yeah.
Some people can do it. Most people don't have that kind of self-control. So do you buy that most people could save all their rage and all their crime urges for a certain day?
No, I don't.
Like, people like you and me could.
Right,
we're not gonna, you know. But like, what would I do on Purge night? I don't know what I'd do. I wouldn't kill anybody.
Like,
I might like steal a TV or something.
Yeah, I could loot.
I'd go to a store. Yeah, I'd loot. I would just loot.
But the problem with that is you're out there now.
Yeah, someone want to kill
shot.
You. Right. So I'd small time looting. You know, maybe at the very beginning of the Purge. So it's an interesting philosophical discussion. And as I said the first time we reviewed this on the podcast, I want people. What's good about the sequel is that it's written and directed by the same guy, and they're already churning franchises out like Paranormal Activity, which is low budget,
right,
high yield, but they're shit. These movies actually have something to say and an interesting concept. Which to me, which is my favorite. My favorite concept in movies is when they do a slight adjustment on reality. Like, everything else is as you know it, but one thing is different. What's the one thing, and how would that make life different? Well, the one thing here is the Purge, is the annual Purge.
Right.
But cars don't fly, you know, like robots. There's no like butler robots. There's just the one thing. Now, how would that affect? And that's why they're so good. Is because everything else is as you see it, as you remember it. But the one thing is different. And I like the world that these movies have built. And I want to keep seeing. And it's the kind of franchise where you can see this event from different people's points of view.
Right, exactly.
And it will tell you something different about human nature and, you know, morality.
And along the Paranormal Activity lines, like, I enjoyed the first couple of those movies.
Yeah.
But this movie, you know, these movies aren't just about, you know, shock value or scaring you. Like, there is some sort of discussion to be had about just the ideas behind it and the way people would handle that situation.
Yeah. Well, all right then. Cheers.
Cheers.